Job number J-20252626-2. We're accessing the combined storm and sanitary system through a 6-inch cast iron cleanout tee located in a mechanical room, kind of on a little concrete mezzanine shelf behind some chiller pipes. And we're sending the camera in and recording in the direction of entry because of some greasy water that exists downstream, and it makes the camera hard to see if we go in reverse. So here's our access point. There's some chiller pipes next to us, kind of in a little corner alcove area. Cast iron stack is coming from floor above. Entering the cleanout. We have just a little bit of water flowing in a hose to observe flow characteristics of the system. 90-degree turn in at the bottom of the stack. You can see a Y entering in on the upper left corner of the screen at about 16 to 17 feet. Pipe material is cast iron. You see a little small trickle of water at the bottom, which would be what we'd like to see the whole way. A little bit tricky to see, but on the upper right corner of the screen there is a Y connection. This is for old school drain tile connection for this area of the basement. There is a below grade receptor basically that the drain tile connects to by means of a P-trap and a Palmer valve. It's not an actual floor drain because the opening on the floor is covered with a brass cleanout plug, so it's kind of a subterranean receptor for the drain tile. So this is at about 32 feet, located with some duct tape on the floor and labeled as such. Another Y is visible on the left center of the screen. This is heading over to a floor drain that is in the middle of this basement room area. And visible is another Y off to on the upper right of the screen. This is coming from an outdoor enclosed courtyard area where there has been some drain issues. This is the path of the drain entering into the basement, and we have jetted this extensively, so we have a path of flow up to this Y connection currently. Nice small trickle of water at the bottom, again what we'd like to see the whole way. That courtyard connection is suspected to be a 6-inch pipe, 6-inch cast iron. Where we see these little light-colored blotches is where is the remains of where extensive grease buildup existed. It's all been beaten back quite nicely. Just small little thin blotches where a massive grease pile once remained, pretty much blocking off flow. Here we have the beginning of our pooling water situation, starting right around this joint at about 55 feet. This position has been located with some tape. Also visible, a little hard to see, but on the upper right of the screen here is a Y connection. There's some white at the very top, which is some grease buildup that still exists in the top of that pipe, but you can see that the radius of the Y branch, kind of the definition of that curve on the upper right corner. This is heading over to some capped off drains that formerly served a stack coming from above and a grease interceptor that was failing for a very long time. And again, this whole section was just chock full of grease. Now we see persistent pooling, which is going to get progressively deeper as we continue in. And again, all of this was very, very full of huge chunks of white grease. We can see now the water is still kind of greasy. As we pull back, we see a film building up on the lens, which is going to make it very cloudy moving forward. We'll see how far we can get. We have a turn here at about 66, 68 feet, or kind of angles at a 45 underneath a stairway area. And at some point through this section, which we can't see because we're kind of plowing through some debris that's sitting in the pipe, so it's making the camera dark. But we have our 6-inch floor clean out that we've been doing a lot of the cleaning through, and that is accessible here. We're kind of passing underneath it at some point, but we can't really see it because of the debris. At that 6-inch floor clean out, it's of note that we measured about 4 inches of water depth in that section. So we have enough of a belly in this pipe that a 10-inch cast iron pipe sits full of water up to 4 inches. Sits with 4 inches of persistent pooling. Probably about as far as we can get with resistance, and we're not really seeing a whole lot at this point because we have a lot of water sitting around mixed with some solids in it. So that's our current status with that stretch of pipe.